and welcome to Carlos Cooks again. Well, Burns Night's coming up, and if you're fond of haggis, neeps and tatties, but you can't partake, let's say you have a health condition that means you can't eat offal, maybe something like gout or something like that, then here's another option for you from Gousto, the home delivery, food delivery network. It's a haggis spiced vegetable loaf with Clapshot and gravy, onion gravy. Looks delicious, so I'm going to give that a go today and we'll see what it comes out like. Okay, so first the ingredients. We've got some Cavelo-Nero cabbage, we've got some Panko breadcrumbs, we've got a Swede and potatoes and carrots, we've got a tin of lentils. It's supposed to be chestnut mushrooms, but they've swapped them for white cup mushrooms because they didn't have them in stock. We've got a couple of garlic cloves, we've got some onion marmalade that's going to go in the gravy at the end, some Wholegrain Mustard to go on the side, some Marmite that goes in the gravy I believe as well, a little pack of allspice and ground black pepper, vegetable stock mix, and that is everything. So we just need some pots and pans, and also a sort of baking tin that you would bake a sort of like a Madeira cake in or something like that, because that's going to cook the veggie loaf in it. So what I'm going to do now is do all the prep, so we've got all that ready and then we'll start cooking. Okay, so that's the majority of the prep done. In here we've got the Swede and the potatoes just chopped up into sort of fairly large cubes. And we're going to add some boiling water and salt to that and cook those for about 10 to 15 minutes once they're boiling away. And then we finally diced the carrot. Haven't peeled it, just topped and tailed it. And all the mushrooms have been finely sliced and diced as well. And that's going to become our veggie haggis spice loaf. And those are going to be sautéed in butter to soften, so that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, the carrots are in the frying pan, very large knob of butter and a good sprinkling of salt, and we're just sautéing those for 3 minutes, and then we're going to add the mushrooms. Potatoes have been added to boiling water, Swede as well, and that will boil for 10 to 15 minutes when it comes up on a simmer. Okay, we've added the mushrooms to the pan, and they're just simmering now for between 5 and 7 minutes. And then we're going to add the ground black pepper and the allspice to the mixture, and fragrance it up a little bit before some stock goes in. Okay, some new ingredients going in now: the lentils, ground black pepper, allspice and chopped garlic. And we're just going to stir that in, and that's going to go into the mixture for about 2 minutes before the next stage, which is adding stock and breadcrumbs. Now that's really starting to smell nice now. You can see what the signature seasoning is in the haggis, because even though this is a pan full of vegetables, it's beginning to smell the same. And I should know because I have tried it. Oh yes. Now I happen to have it on good authority that if you are looking for a traditional haggis and a good one, people in the know tell me that McSweens is the one to go for. You usually find it in your supermarket, especially this time of year, and I have had it before and it is lovely, especially with neeps and tatties and gravy. Beautiful. And this isn't going to be too bad either from the smell of it. Okay, a couple of minutes have passed with those last few ingredients in. So next step is to add the Panko breadcrumbs. All of those. And what I've got here is 100 ml of water with half the vegetable stock that they supply and a small pot of Marmite just dissolved into it. And we're going to add that in and mix it all up. This is going to complete the veggie loaf and hopefully give it some texture that's going to make it similar to a haggis, obviously without the casing, but we're going to bake it into a loaf in the oven, so it should be very similar. potatoes still have about 5 or 6 minutes to go until they're fork tender. That smells delicious. Can't wait till that's baked in the oven. I'm going to prepare a loaf tin now with some greaseproof paper in the bottom, and we're going to coat that in a light vegetable oil spray I've got, and then we're going to pack this in, and it's going to go into our oven, which is already preheating to 180 degrees on a fan. That's 200 degrees normal electric oven, and it's going to go in there. But that's got a good consistency. That looks like that's going to be good. It's been lined with non-stick greaseproof baking paper, and I put a light coating of spray oil, vegetable oil, in and packed the haggis vegetable loaf in. Just smooth the top down, made it sure it's gone into the corners, and that's going to go into the oven now for 25 minutes until it's sort of crispy on top. Okay, next stage has been done. Potatoes and Swede are done and a fork tender, so they've just been drained, and they're just going to steam in the pan until we need them. So they're going to go through some further cooking. And the Cavelo-Nero, I've taken the very hard centre stalks out and just roughly chopped the remaining leaves, and they're actually going to go into the oven in tin foil sheets that I've got there. We're going to wrap them up and put them straight into the oven. They're just going to bake in the foil. Okay, we've mashed the Swede and the potatoes with a generous helping of salt and pepper and a knob of butter until it's smooth and creamy. So that's all done. So that can sit by. In the oven, we've still got 3 minutes for the haggis spiced vegetable loaf, and also I've got the Cavelo-Nero in there in some olive oil and salt in the tin foil, and that's got another 3 minutes as well. So now we're going to make the gravy. Okay, the gravy is very easy to make. It's just 200 ml of boiling water. It's had the rest of the vegetable stock mix added to it, a pot of onion marmalade, and we've made a roux in the frying pan with some butter and some flour, and just let that butter melt and the flour sort of paste into it until you've got sort of yellow sandy mixture, and then we've slowly added the gravy mixture, and we're just cooking that over a medium heat now, and that's just basically going to simmer away until it thickens up. You can see the beautiful flecks of caramelised onion from the marmalade in there. That's going to go really lovely with it. The oven's finished cooking now. I'm just about to take the meatloaf out and let it rest for a little bit. Sorry, not the meatloaf, the veggie loaf. Slip of the tongue there. And the Cavelo-Nero, and then we'll serve a plate up and we'll see what it looks like. I'll say a quick look at the haggis spiced veggie loaf that's come out in the loaf tin now, and the Cavelo-Nero that's wilted down in the foil just while we're waiting for the gravy. And there we have it, something ideal for Burns night. A haggis spiced vegetable loaf with Cavelo-Nero that's been cooked in olive oil in the oven, and delicious neeps and tatties, or Clapshot as they call it, with a delicious onion gravy over it and a little dollop of wholegrain mustard. Delicious. So all that's left is for me to wish all my Scottish viewers a happy Burns night this year, and I'll see you next time.